So you have bought that piece of land that you have been eyeing for years in Jamaica. What's next? Congratulations on owning a piece of the rock. Today, I'm breaking down the essential steps you need to follow before starting construction. Well, let's dive in. Alright, number one, the first thing you need to do is establish your boundaries. Now, your lawyer would have advised you to get a surveyor's ID diagram when you were purchasing the land. Now, you need to ensure that all your pegs are in place, meaning at each corner of the property, there is a peg, whether it's a metal, wood, or something. You need to ensure that all those pegs are in place and it's visible. So you need to do a physical check of where your pegs are. If you are not seeing those pegs, you need to engage a land surveyor to come back out and to re-peg the property. In this process, what you can do to save some time and money is to also ask the surveyor to prepare what is known as a topography plan. You'll need this document to give to your architect or your draftsman to give him information about the slope or the terrain of the land in order to assist him in designing the building for you. So after you have established your boundaries and you have re-pegged the property, now you know clearly where your boundaries are. A lot of people choose to probably start putting up a fence, some sort of fence, maybe just some barbed wire or something just to establish where the land starts and where the land stops, right? Next, you need to move on to the design process. This is where you will engage your architect, your draftsman, whoever it is, to design your building for you. Like I said before, have your topography plan in hand, because your architect, your draftsman will need this information to design the building for you. For example, if it's a very steep land, you may end up with a basement level, and you need to know if he needs to design a basement with the plans for you. What I'd encourage though is, while designing, have a budget in mind. We have done videos in the past where we show a square foot cost of what you could expect to build for. So what you could do is apply that cost to the kind of square footage that you want to build to have an idea of what construction cost would be. It's important to consider this because you don't want to design something that is too elaborate and then you can't build it because you don't have the money to build it. So it's important to have a cost in mind while designing. Once your drawing has been completed and before construction, the next step is to submit your documents to the Parish Council. You remember the survey ID that I talked about previously? You need that document to be submitted with your drawings to the Parish Council. Also, they would require from you a tax certificate. This is a document to show that you are paid up on all your property taxes. Now, this document you can get at your local tax office. So you just go into them and tell them that you want a property tax certificate, and they will show you where to go and you get that document. You need that document to submit with your drawing. So those are the two documents you submit with your drawing. And the other thing is the drawings itself. So you probably need about 4 copies of those. Once you have all these documents, you can visit the Parish Council, pay the fees, and submit your drawings for approval. With that said, you may ask, how long does it take to actually get approval? Guys, this is a tricky one and I really don't have the answer to give to you. Why? Because I have submitted drawings that took 6 weeks to get approved, and I've submitted drawings that took 6 months to get approved. Okay, this is the same Parish Council that we're talking about, not a different one, not a different parish, but within the same Parish Council. So I cannot give you an answer as how long that process might take. Again, there may be cases where the Parish Council have questions and queries that they need answering before they actually approve your drawings. So the time varies. You just have to go in with your documents and ask the Parish Council how long it would take for approval. The next step is to establish construction costs. Guys, you need to engage a quantity surveyor. As a quantity surveyor, I've seen a lot of clients choose to neglect this step and they end up paying the price during construction. The QS will help you to establish construction costs and to define the budget that you have. You will establish a detailed budget that you can fine-tune before engaging a contractor or a builder. Also, if you plan to seek financing, you will need an estimate of cost from a quantity surveyor to submit to your financial institution. The bank will require additional documents. However, once you go into the bank, they can advise you on the additional information, additional documents that you need to provide to get the mortgage. Engage a contractor or a builder. Know that you have your budget in mind and you have secured your financing. Let's hire a contractor. Your QS can provide you with a blank bill of quantities which you can send to your contractor for them to price. You then will review each price with your quantity surveyor to select the most reasonable contractor. Usually in Jamaica, most builders are not capable of pricing a bill of quantities. In this case, you might want to agree a list of basic rates that you can enter into contract with. So for example, you might agree how much to build block, how much to lay tiles, how much to render a wall. There's a rate sheet that you can get that will give you an idea of what the going rates are. We have done videos in the past that highlights the differences between a contractor and a builder. Guys, always sign a contract. The critical elements within a contract, you need to establish costs, duration for the build, payment terms, and exit clauses. So you want to know under what conditions do we exit out of this contract, how much this project is going to cost, how long is this project going to take, and what are the payment terms, how often would you get paid, how would you get paid. Now your QS can give you advice on how to enter into this kind of contract. They can either draft this contract for you or recommend a standard form of contract that you can use, but always sign a contract with your builder/contractor. Note, the contract protects both parties throughout the life of the project. So it protects the contractor/builder and it protects you whose house is being built. So always enter into a contract, guys. Don't forget, that's very important. Now that you have gotten all the basics in place, once your approvals are in place and your team is ready, site preparation begins. Clearing the land, setting the foundation, and moving step by step through the construction processes. Over the years doing construction, we have gathered a network of professionals that we use. Let us know if you'd like us to provide you with a list of professionals that can help you along the process. So those are the key steps after buying land in Jamaica and before the start of construction. If you are planning to build here in Jamaica, following these steps will save you a lot of time, money, and most of all, the stress of building. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, keep the dream alive. We're out.